Microsoft Copilot is a really cool piece of tech, and some people regard it as the most powerful productivity tool on the planet. But most people aren't sure if it's okay and safe to use. Plus, nobody wants to be replaced by AI. I mean, thousands of businesses use Microsoft products every day, which means millions of people rely on Microsoft for work. And Microsoft is beginning to push these businesses towards implementing generative AI into their workflows. But is using Copilot cheating? Is it unethical to utilize Copilot to write emails for me? If I use Copilot, will people think I'm lazy? What if I told you that you may be thinking about Microsoft Copilot incorrectly, and specifically in two different ways? Take it from me, I work for a Microsoft partner and I utilize Copilot in my current workflow every day, and here are my thoughts. I think most people have now seen the different generative AI capabilities that are available. You can use it to write a poem or create any sort of image that your heart desires, or even plan a vacation for you. I think it's a cool concept that most people are excited about when using it for personal use. I understand that it is a whole different ballgame when it comes to using it for work. After all, this is our livelihood. What if you relied on AI too much and it made a mistake that you were ultimately responsible for? What if your boss got upset if they found out that you utilized Copilot to write a customer email for you? Could they think you're being lazy or taking advantage of the system? Or even scarier, can using Copilot expose your company's data to hackers? Well, this brings us to our first point, which is you need to understand the security of Copilot. Unfortunately, if you try to Google this, all you'll find is different diagrams like this one, or this one, or this one, or this one, which all of these are pretty complicated and confusing. But I will admit, if you want to act smart, post one of these to LinkedIn and act like you know what you're talking about. But let's try to break one of these down so you truly can understand it and making sure that you're utilizing Copilot correctly. Let's say you're utilizing Copilot in Outlook. This would put you in this top left area of our diagram. If you follow this arrow with the number 1 on it, this is you interacting with Copilot through the help pane, typing out what you want and hitting submit. Then Copilot is going to take this information to Microsoft Graph. Microsoft Graph is really just a fancy database that stores all of your company's information that might be in Dataverse, in SharePoint, in internal databases, etc. Microsoft Graph then takes your prompt and finds all of the potentially relevant information in the database, and then takes your prompt and the information that it found over to the large language model. This large language model is the licensed capability that Microsoft got from OpenAI, or effectively ChatGPT. This large language model is what gives Copilot the capability to understand your language and then output language back to you. There are a couple of points called out over on the large language model, and that is that the information that the large language model is using is not being actively stored or used to train the large language model. And that all of these LLM interactions are still following Microsoft's responsible AI principles. That's what the little RAI means. I had to Google that one. After the LLM is done working its magic, it takes this output back to Microsoft Graph for what is called grounding. This grounding process is effectively fact-checking the large language model to make sure that the LLM's output is still in alignment with what Microsoft Graph originally provided it. After the grounding, only then does the output go back up to you as the user as the Copilot output. You'll also notice that all of these arrows have a little lock symbol on them, signifying that they are encrypted for an additional security measure. Also, nowhere in this diagram does it show Copilot accessing the internet or raising additional security risks. Because the touch points of Copilot for M365 aren't exposed, you can safely use Copilot without the worry of internet hacks or releasing sensitive company data. However, Microsoft does say that you should not be sharing sensitive personal or company information on the enterprise chat in Bing. This whole diagram only applies for Copilot for M365. I mean, if you think about it, it's kind of self-explanatory, but don't copy and paste a sensitive document from work into the Bing chat and ask it for a summary. If you want to do that, you should use Copilot for M365. Understanding how Copilot works is really important because you need to understand how you can use it effectively and protect yourself. If you don't practice safe Copilot use, then using Copilot is actually a bad thing. But assuming you're taking your due diligence in utilizing Copilot at work correctly, then I think using Copilot at work isn't only okay, but it's beneficial. Here is why. Let's take a quick step back. Anytime in history there's an innovation, there's gonna be early adopters and then the early majority, etc. And right now with generative AI, we are here. And I guess that means I'm an early adopter, but I'm okay with that. Also, I am super interested where you find yourself on that curve. If you could let me know in the comments down below. Let me know the different thoughts or reservations you have about Copilot. Anyways, there's always gonna be hesitation when a disruptive piece of technology is invented. And frankly, it's justified. However, and it may be silly, but I think of examples like the Industrial Revolution. Thousands of people had monotonous jobs that have since been replaced by machinery. At the time, I'm sure those people hated the idea or were terribly frightened by the fact that their job was going away because of a machine. This is a super valid and scary thought, but what happened over time? This advancement freed up these people to begin using higher level thinking and ultimately build a better society. Because we no longer need people building widgets, we can have more doctors, nurses, counselors, teachers, entrepreneurs, etc. I suspect that with the tool of generative AI and Copilot that this is a very similar case. The second point that you need to understand is that Copilot is a tool, not a robot. Microsoft has communicated several times that Copilot is named in a way that's very strategic. It's called Copilot, not autopilot. If you use Copilot, this does not mean you can turn your brain off. You still need to be able to think critically. You still need to be able to creatively problem solve. You still need to have all the soft skills that make you, you. At this point in time, Copilot can make mistakes and produce what are called hallucinations. This is why it's still important to always audit Copilot's outputs. If you ask Copilot for an email reply and copy it and send it to someone, the person receiving that email does not know that Copilot wrote it for you. Say Copilot said something you wouldn't want to say or included information that was unnecessary. Because of this, there's a responsibility on the user of Copilot to ensure that Copilot's output is correct. So while I encourage utilizing Copilot at work, you still need to understand how to use it correctly. And in case you're still worried, I'm not saying Copilot is going to replace your job. I'm not saying that, I promise. After all, Microsoft is developing Copilot as a tool to work alongside the current Microsoft product users to reduce the load of different tedious tasks. For example, you look like a smart person and I can tell that you are good at what you do. Should you really be spending time fixing the grammar on your drafted email? Or should you be spending time doing what you're good at? This is why I will stick to my guns in saying that using Copilot is a good thing. Like I said in the beginning, I use Copilot and generative AI tools in my current workflow every day. I'm using it to write email replies for me. I actually use it to write all of my YouTube video descriptions. I use it to help me turn my YouTube videos into blog posts, which can be found in the description. Like most, I work a full-time job. Utilizing generative AI allows me to be more productive and get more work done. Can anybody honestly say that being more productive is a bad thing? Of course not. Now, I do need to be honest with you. While I utilize Copilot every day and use it effectively, it may not be working effectively for you. You see, like any tool, there is a learning curve. And unfortunately, most people are not using Copilot correctly, and if you're not doing so, then it's actually just a waste of your time. There are 3 main things you need to be doing to make sure you're utilizing Copilot correctly, all in this video. Thank you guys for sticking to the end of the video. My name is Griffin Lickfelt, the host of Citizen Developer, and I'm excited to connect with you guys in the next one.